Hey there, viewers. Thank you for tuning into Supermariodiagnostics once again. This morning, we have a 2011 Chrysler Town & Country with a 3.6 liter. It's got 115,000 miles, and the customer's concern is an intermittent crank no start, and an intermittent stalling issue as well. And we're first thing in the morning. This car was actually here yesterday. We've been trying to I'm actually stepping in for my with my coworker, and we've been trying to reproduce the symptom. It's very intermittent, and it seems to be happening after a cold soak. So I checked for codes, no codes. The customer states that he's a mechanic, and he says that he thinks it's the throttle body. The throttle body light comes on when it's happening, but let's confirm the symptom first. Now, I'll tell you where I'm at right now, since we've had some time with it. Right off the bat, I'll be straightforward with you, and I'll tell you that we've confirmed to have a fueling issue, because what we did was, my coworker, he took apart the intake tube off of the throttle body just to check to see if the throttle body is functioning, and it's functioning as expected. But I came around and I looked at it, and I heard the way it was cranking, and I said, and especially the fact that it happens after a cold soak. I'm thinking, hey, what's going on with fuel? Do we have fuel pressure? How is it? So I stuck some brake clean in there. I know you're not supposed to, but I stuck some alternate fuel in there, and it started right up while it was acting up. Like I said, it's very intermittent, so while it does it, it will crank to no end until it finally decides to not do it anymore. But while it was acting up on us, he was cranking for like 3 seconds straight. I just hit it with some gas, alternate fuel, and it started right up. And then it stalled right when I finished feeding it. So I grabbed my gauge, and I checked for pressure. And the first time it got pressure, but the second time I released the pressure, I checked for pressure again, and it gave me nothing. So we're looking at a fuel pump possibility, we're looking at a fuel system issue here. So let's go ahead and diagnose this. This is where I'm at, and let's go ahead and diagnose this one. And just to confirm our symptom, let's see if it does it this time, because you'll be surprised. Okay, so it's stalled. There you go. It's doing it. Now, that throttle body light did not come on as it was happening, but I think that the fact that it's coming on now, that's probably why the customer thinks that it's the throttle body now. I'm not really concerned that it's the throttle body, because when it runs the way it should. So we'll go ahead and start from there. Let's look at some diagrams. Alright, so I'm using all data. Let's go ahead and take a look at our fuel pump circuit. I usually go through powertrain management. It's a 1 out of 4 here. There's 4 pages on this one. And to make our search a little faster, I'm going to press Control F for a find feature and put fuel P. I could spell out fuel pump, but sometimes, just for convenience. So I already see something highlighted around this area on our last page. So just a little tip to make things a little faster. Okay, so our totally integrated power module, our TIPM, has our fuel pump relay. And our fuel pump relay, our control side, is battery positive, controlled by the PCM ground. So there's our PCM. It is on a C1 pin 40 connector. And our load side is hot at all times, and the fuse is after the relay, so that's pretty convenient for us. And It goes to the fuel pump module. This would be, I see a fuel level signal, sensor signal here, so I'm thinking this is an in-tank fuel pump module. They call it a module, but that's not, there's no external fuel pump. So this is the entire thing right here. So what I would like to do is remove this fuse right here, M25, and put in a current loop. And actually the current loops that I'm using these types. I don't know which one I'm going to use right now, but the good thing about this is that our particular situation, since our fuse is after the relay, we can install our current loop and clamp it, and also check for voltage coming out of the TIPM. That way we can know whether it's an issue. We can isolate whether it's an issue inside the TIPM or if it's past the TIPM and somewhere in between the module and the C5 pin 10 connection. So, and at the same time, I want to scope all this at the same time. I want to check my fuel pump command from the PCM at the C1 pin 40 connect pin. So all in one shot, we can narrow down whether it's a command issue, whether it's a relay issue, or whether it's a something in the wiring integrity, or the fuel pump itself, or the ground right here. So I also want to take a look at our fuel pump relay. So let's type in fuel pump relay, see where it is, which one it is, because sometimes the TIPM box doesn't really show. So just in case, while we're here, let's take a look. Okay, so it says relay fuel pump on PCB, internal component non-serviceable. So that's another reason for us to go about it the way that we're going to go at it. So no other way to do it. Fuel pump relay is internal to the TIPM. Let's go ahead and continue on our game plan here. Okay, so I found my M25 fuse, and it says it right here, 20 amp fuel / DSL lift pump, but I'm reading between the lines, fuel pump. And it is right next to our K9. It is right here. So we're going to go ahead and remove that and put in our current loop. And the good thing about the AES Wave the current loops is that they come in a set. I think they come in a set. I don't think I bought them separately. So here it is. We're going to stick that fuse that we just removed in here and install this. Now the only way that I'm going to be able to access that PCM command wire is underneath the TIPM. So let me see if I could take this out. This cable looks it is really short. I got no slack in here, so I'm gonna, you know what, I'm gonna disconnect the battery and slide up the TIPM so that we can access our pin. So I'm looking for pin 40. It's a brown wire, and I already see it right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and back probe that. That is 35. Move up 5, and that is our number 40. So I'm gonna go ahead and back probe that and hook up my wiring now, my scope, so that I could put the TIPM back in its place and we get on with our testing. Got my amp clamp here. I'm gonna hook that to channel 1. I'm gonna need 3 channels. I got current. I usually mark my compensation and my limits. So we're gonna need 100. We're at 100 already. Good for us. Alright, so channel 2, I'm going to put as the command. I need no compensation. I'm actually gonna hook that up. And our channel 3, we're gonna check for voltage out of the tip-em, since our fuse is after the relay, that internal relay. So let me go grab a probe. And here we are. So gotta make sure we're in the right range. No compensation, so 1x. We're coupled DC, and our range is gonna be, let's just put 10 volts per division. So we're gonna ground out our other side, our leads. Go back, piggyback this one, and there's our ground. And let's not forget to connect our third channel. Alright, so recap. Amp clamp to the current for the fuel pump. Our command is on channel 2, it's purple, PCM command. And our channel 3 is our voltage out of the tip-em. So let's just do some quick measurements here. I always put RMS on all of them. We'll put them in order: channel 1, channel 2, and channel 3. So let me zero out my probe. I'm not sure if we're in the right orientation. I might have to flip this around. Not a big deal. Let's hope we could catch it too. So I'm gonna go ahead and crank the car, and we'll see if we can catch this in the act. I'm gonna put a bigger time base. I can always zoom in. That's not an issue. So let's go ahead and do it. Okay, so it started. Okay, I got no command. Starting to wonder if I'm back probed all the way in now. Let me try this again. Okay, so I wasn't back probed all the way in. I had to push it in, but it just primed right now, and it stopped priming. So let's take a look at this information right here. So our channel 1 is our current. We can see that it primes. Our channel 2 is our command at the PCM. It's grounded, and then it goes right back up to 12 volts. So that tells me that everything is good. Pass up the coil, up the command coil from the relay, and up to the fuse. And channel 3 is our voltage out from the tip-em. That's a lot of hash for voltage out, but let's go ahead and continue our testing, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so it died. We had our command. We have no current. Yellow is our current. We have no current to the fuel pump, and we have no voltage coming out of the tip-em. So one more time, let's see if we could catch it. Perfect, we got it in the act. So our command right? We have our 12 volts. It's the driver PCM command driver is open, so we have 12 volts on that line. It drops down when the command happens. We have no voltage out of the tip-um, which is our purple, and we have no current going to the fuel pump. So we've already ruled out everything past the tip-um. This is an issue with the tip-um itself. So let's see if we could get an approval, and I possibly need to reprogram this and redo our testing, but I'm pretty sure our testing will show everything good once it's done. But just to show you guys that, you know, I didn't even have to lift the car. You don't have to take the fuel pump apart. You don't have to do any of that. You can just do it right here. So let's see if we get an approval and take it from there. Now, those of you who have been looking closely will see that it now says Dodge Grand Caravan. In the beginning of the video, I said that it was a town and country. It actually, I was guiding myself by what the scan tool said when I was pulling codes. I went by the VIN number and it pulled up town and country. So that's what I put into the all data. But actually, it's a Dodge. And, you know, I was stepping in on this one. I kind of like rushed through it. So my fault on that one. My apologies. But nothing changes. I look at the diagram and everything is exactly the same. So I've got my new tip-um, and according to service information, it says that you can put the ignition key on for 12 seconds and it will collect the necessary configuration and VIN data, and after 12 seconds turn off the key and then turn it back on and verify proper operation. Now, I spoke to Keith DeFazio. Whoever doesn't know who Keith DeFazio is, you guys have been asleep, because he is the go-to guy when it comes to stuff that I don't know. At least for me. But I reached out to him and he says it needs to be reprogrammed. But I see this and I'm like, kind of like, you know, it won't hurt to try. So I'm gonna go ahead and try it. You know, it might need reprogramming. We got a programmer coming, but he doesn't come until late next week, and I'm not sure I want to wait that long. All right, so I got my new tip-um right here, made in Mexico. Say what you want, but let's grab them. Let's go ahead and get this sucker out. And let's see if it's the real deal or not. What we're gonna do is, in real time, we're gonna go try this out, see if service info is correct or if they're full of it. Not cutting the video so you guys can see. All right, so turn on the ignition for 12 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Turn off our ignition. I'm gonna get the key out. And some modules like to go to sleep. Let's just do it. Let's just wait. Good 15 seconds. 10, I imagine. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Moment of truth. And the battery's dead, and it doesn't work. So that ends that. Service info is incorrect. We're gonna have to program this sucker. So we're gonna wait a couple days to get the programmer here, unfortunately. So we have no choice, and I'll get back to you as soon as it's programmed. Now let's see who was paying attention, because I know some of you saw that. I took out that fuel pump fuse with the intention of putting on the current loop, but I never put it on. So that, what good is that if I have no fuel pressure? So while the battery's dead as well, I went ahead and grabbed the jump box where we got my jump box installed, and I put that fuse back in. So let's see. We're still a couple minutes, maybe a minute after I last cut the video. So I'm gonna pump up the fuel pump, let it prime a bit, see if we get lucky here. And then no doubts to you, Keith DeFazio. I'm just hoping here. What? And it works. It started. No check engine light on. No throttle body light on. So there you have it, the moment of truth. No programming necessary on this particular vehicle, this particular issue, tip-on replacement. Keith DeFazio, I do appreciate you taking the time to help me out, man. But this is one for the books, my friend. We got this thing rolling. So let me get my scope set up, and so we could just take a look at a known good, and we'll take it from there. Okay, I got my exact same setup. Channel 1 is our amp to the fuel pump. Our channel 2 is our command from the PCM, and our channel 3 is our voltage out of the tip-em. And you can see the colors in order here: channel 1, channel 2, channel 3. So let's go ahead and give it another shot. Key is on right now. I mean, key is off right now, and then now key is on. Should be priming. We've got our prime. Let's go ahead and start this up. Starting now. And we are started. Alright, so we are started. We got currents. And just for the sake of looking, let's take a look at our fuel pump. No dead spots. Everything looks pretty good. That is exactly what I like to see. So let's go ahead and turn off the car and see that our command goes back to 12. Our command should be jumping up to 12 if the driver is open. So that's a little interesting, unless I'm not back probed all the way in like last time. Honestly, I don't think I'm back probed all the way in, and I'm trying to push on it, but it's not grabbing anything. But it's pretty obvious. We can see the tip-em did its job. The 12 volts jumped out, and we're good to go. I'm not really worried about it. I'm actually going to keep testing. We're going to keep testing for the remainder of the day. But this is a fix. Once again, I cannot thank you guys enough for partaking in my YouTube journey, and I'm happy to have you guys watching. And share, share if you like what you see. Share this, because it might help out somebody else in the future. It's one of those cases where the throttle body light isn't the end all be all, and sometimes you get hit with a curveball. No codes, no nothing. So no codes in the entire system, at least, except for the TPMS system, but that's another issue. Nonetheless, a fix is a fix. I'm going to continue testing throughout the day, but I am not worried one bit. It would have done it by now. It's been a cold soak. In my experience, a driver or a transistor doesn't usually let off and open, causing a stall. It usually just doesn't work. So this was another one to keep in mind. It doesn't just mean that it won't close the circuit. It can also fail and open on you. But I appreciate you taking the time. Sorry for the beeping. But thanks for joining in. I appreciate you taking the time. And I hope that you enjoyed. Hit share, hit like, subscribe if you haven't. And don't forget to hit that bell notifier so that you can know when a new video comes out. You could check your notification settings. And I'm always open to helping anybody out. If you guys can check out my Facebook page, I will put the link right after this video ends. And shoot me a message. Let me know who you are and say hi. I like to respond. I like the interaction of all you guys. Just let me know who you are. This is a hobby of mine. I'm not making any money off of this. I'm sharing the knowledge. Take advantage, because it's out there. Take advantage of all these YouTube channels that are willing to put out all this information, because I'm telling you, it's amazing what you'll find. Thanks again. Until next time, take care.